Hello, hello. Welcome to the April Energy Update. I'm Peyton, and I am joined as usual by Yaila and Corey. And today we are bringing you the energy report for the month of April. And you know how we do this. We are going to start with Yaila, who's going to do a little live collective reading for you. Then Corey is going to give you a little overview of what's going on in the astrology. And I'll wrap things up at the end with a channeled message from the Pleiadians. So let's dive right in. Yaila, what are you seeing for the collective?
Thank you so much, Peyton. Hello. Welcome to our April energy update. Love to see your beautiful faces. My name is Yaila, and I will be tapping into your energy for the collective reading as we are recording right now. So let me just close my eyes, and I will have my eyes closed from time to time. So let me just connect into the collective energy. Okay. So I'm getting, first it was a brown color, which I very rarely get for the collective, and then a beautiful green color. So let me just ask what these two colors are representing. But before I do that, creative all that is, it's commanded and requested, please bring forth the information and any healing for those of you tuning in, for all of us here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please guide me with clarity and accuracy. All right, so the brown is kind of like it's like a deeper maroon brown, and I'm getting it's representing two things for that, for the collective. So for April, I'm kind of seeing it's like the dirt, the muck to sift through. When I see brown energy, that usually means it's not your true energy. So anything dark or muted means it's not always yours. And what's coming in is a lot of other energies. And what they're showing me is online, on social media, like out there in the world, is impacting our space. So you want to be really, really clear about where you're putting your focus, where you're putting your energy. And that maroon color to me is a representation of, it's what you're passionate about, but it's darker with those outside energies. So be really, really mindful about where you're giving your energy and your focus for April. It's actually be going through the rest of this year, but especially these next like 4, 5, 6 months. So be really, really mindful about what other energies are getting into your space and how you're navigating through that, and make sure those other energies aren't running the show for you, that you are running the show for you. I hope that makes sense. The green color is your true energy for this month. Green color is the heart chakra. It's balancing the body chakras and the upper chakras. So it's nature, it's nurture, it's like what we're growing, what we're expanding. That is your true energy that's going to be coming through for April. That is where you want to be focusing. So if you feel heavy, sludgy, the energy's moving slow, like things are kind of feeling like a hard challenge to get through, you're frustrated, you're angry, check to see what other energies in my space and do what you can to get it out. You can ground, connecting to nature. Water's always a great thing. Drinking water, showers, baths, oceans, lakes, streams, those kind of things. When you're feeling the green energy, what feels loving, exciting, expansive for you? Focus your energy there. So those are kind of the overall themes for April, just energy-wise. I always like to ask, what is helpful for you to know for April 2026? And the first words they gave me was coming in fast. So April is coming in fast. As we are recording today, it is the end of March, and the energies have already started. We are officially in Aries season as we are recording, and the energies are coming in fast for you. So what to watch out for is not getting caught up in the daily grind. Don't get trampled over by other people's energies, outside energies, getting caught up in the mix of things. You want to find your own grounding this month because the energies will be coming in fast for you. So what's helpful to know is energies are moving very, very fast. They're also showing me a second thing to watch out for is being too flighty outside of your body. So if you are noticing your focus is outside there, outside people, places, things, obviously there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of upheaval there. I'm showing like a lot of dust getting stirred up. You can get lost in the muck. And so you want to ground is what I'm hearing continuously through this reading. So that is what to pay attention to, what's to watch out for, and what else is helpful for you to know for the month of April. They want you to slow things down as much as you can. So let your body feel the excitement of new beginnings, of things to grow. Let that be the fuel for what you want to focus on, where you want to give your energy, but don't let yourself get caught up in the mess. And so if you are to ground yourself in with what truly matters for you, where your heart is really calling you towards, and what they're saying is add the caveat, it starts with us. So start in your body, your life, your values, focusing there first. You're much stronger of a ripple with your energy when you start there. They're saying ground zero is with you, and then we can ripple out. So it's not starting from the outside things, trying to condense it down to ground first and ripple out. So those are the helpful things to know. Let me just ask if there's any last messages for you, the collective, for April 2026. I don't know if I mentioned this before because I'm just kind of channeling through, but take it in stride, taking it step by step, take it in stride. You can set the pace and you can actually take the stride that feels best for you. And I'm actually seeing someone walking down the street, listening to music, like moving and grooving and shaking and jiving, having a great time, even though the world is doing the world around you. You can take it in your own stride. You can connect to your heart. You can stay grounded. You can focus on what matters to you. And you're going to have a beautiful month of creating things that you want to see grow. So that is what I have. Miss Corey, what do you have?
Well, thank you, Yaila. Wow, that's great, great advice for April. So I'll be doing the intuitive astrology. And so the first half of April is Aries season. So we're already in Aries season. Aries represents independent, warrior energy. It's a fire sign, so it comes in hot. It's also the first zodiac sign of all the zodiac signs. So it's not the baby, but it is a young sign. So it can be impulsive. It does represent war. However, Aries also represents courage and impulsivity. Then the second half of April is Taurus season. So Taurus is earth energy. So it's really the two opposites. And Taurus represents value, what you value, valuing yourself, money, creature comforts. I always, when I think of Taurus, because I have a daughter that's a Taurus, I think of slow and steady wins the race. That's very slow paced. But also Tauruses have that texture thing. You know, they love things that are soft, cozy, homey. That represents Taurus. So that being said, the first half of April is Aries season, but we have a full moon in Libra on the 1st. Now, Libra represents relationships, the scales, the balancing of scales. So the full moon is what no longer serves us. And so, which also rules the emotions. So emotionally, what no longer serves us. So, relationships may require balance. And a situation might conclude because the full moon represents endings. It is a heavy, heavy, heavy Aries month and will be for a while. So April 9th, Mars, which is the output energy, is the ruler of Aries, and Mars is going into Aries on April 9th. And so there will be an increase of energy because that Aries is fire. Increase of energy, urgency, intensity. But also, Aries is very good at making decisions. I mean, they just like, up, there you go, and they're off. So that hot fire output energy from Aries on April 9th, things are speeding up. They're going to speed up. So that whole thing of Yaila, reading the collective of slow down, don't let yourself get taken away by the energy. It's good advice. So April 14th, Mercury, the mind, is going to enter Aries. And so Mercury is the mind, but it's also communication. So we can expect communication breakthroughs. Now, Aries is their key word is I am. So you might have an easier time expressing how you feel and how you communicate to others, right? But be mindful because Aries comes in hot and heavy and Mars is in Aries. So try that pause button before you communicate with all that Aries energy. Don't do the open mouth insert foot deal. It's very easy to do that. So between Mercury and Mars and the Sun and Saturn and Neptune all being in Aries, this makes for, we're going to have 5 to 6, and this is not including any asteroids or, other planets, but just the basic ones in our galaxy. 5 to 6 planets in Aries for April. So that's some warrior energy. It's great for getting things done. So then we have, on April 17th, the new moon, which is what you're going to manifest, in Aries. So this will be a great time to start new projects, businesses, and personal transformations. Because Aries does rule the self. So personal transformations, what do you want to manifest in this new moon? It's a great time to manifest. And then on the 19th of April, the sun is going to enter Taurus. So, like I said, Taurus is slow and steady. So the energy will feel more grounded, which I welcome it. It's like, oh my gosh, all the energies, for the most part, that we have, especially in the outer planets, are all in fire and air. We've been predominantly in earth and water. Now we're shifting over to air and fire. So Taurus, the sun moving into Taurus, it'll help ground us. It'll make us feel more stability, but it will highlight finances, improving your environment. Taurus also rules agriculture, money, agriculture, values. And so we will have a lot of that. And I want to say as well is that the planet Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus forever and a day. And Uranus is going to enter the sign of Gemini. It's a huge shift on the 25th. So the first half of April, because it's at the last degrees before it changes, we are going to have we'll see a lot of things on the world stage about financials, possibly earthquakes, because Taurus rules Mother Earth. So in the first half of April, we might see financial crashes, changes in finance. Uranus does rule like decentralized banking or finances, I should say. And so because it's at that last degrees, it's going to be really strong. So just know that that's the deal, because on the 25th, Uranus is going to go into Gemini. And that is a huge shift. Uranus rules innovation, and Gemini is travel, because it's ruled by Mercury. And so we're going to start seeing some technological advancements. It's a very rare transit, and it will last for 7 years. It will change how we communicate, how people communicate with one another, and how we process information. Gemini is about the facts. They love to gather information. They're like, gather facts. What's the truth? Here's the paper to show it. I got my receipts. I've been researching. So we're going to see, it's a huge shift in energy. And so April is hot. It's really hot. I'm actually grateful that the sun will be in Taurus. But we have big, huge shifts with 5 to 6 planets at once in Aries. And so it is important to keep yourself grounded. We have 2 choices. We can either hop on the bandwagon of the chaos and the drama. But, we've been talking about this for years, actually, now. But to stay grounded, go inward is the key. Go inward. And with this Aries, we have a huge opportunity to continue our inner spiritual work, to stay grounded, while all of the stuff in the outer world just plays itself out. So that's what I've got for April. Peyton, what do the Pleiades have to say?
Thank you, ladies. I always love hearing what y'all have to say. And as always, you kind of take the words right out of my mouth. Today is no exception on that. But when we look at the April energies, the first thing that the Pleiadians had to say about them is this is going to be a time of unplugging. We are letting go of the old. And for a lot of us, we're going to be letting go of some of the big things. There are going to be lots of changes in careers, in relationships, in the big ticket items. But what the P's wanted to kind of bring our attention to is as we let go of all of this stuff that doesn't serve us anymore, isn't aligned with our highest timeline, the old makes a lot of noise when we let it go. So we want to be prepared for the past to try to drag us back. That is kind of going to be the energy of April, is letting go, but being prepared for all that old stuff to get a little squeaky as it goes. So this is going to be a time as we move into the April energies to turn your discernment up to 10. And the 3 of us have been talking about this for, what is it, ladies, 5 years now. And this is the time that you want to really put your attention on this. Because according to the Pleiadians, as humans, we don't really appreciate how much all of this external noise, all of our sources of news, our social media, our videos, our political arena, how much of it is just false. And they said we want to be very careful with anything that we're buying into, because we don't really know for certain that it's actually true. So what they encourage us to do is to turn your discernment all the way up. Whatever kind of information you're tuning into, again, whether this is mainstream or whether this is in the spiritual community, there's no difference. You want to listen to the energy, which again, something the three of us have been saying for years, because we have to be very careful that what is being presented to us is mostly to distract us, to pull us back into the old way of thinking, the old way of doing things, the old victimhood that humans are so good at. We feel powerless because the world is telling us that we are powerless. So we want to be very careful with any information that we're buying into. Because whenever we are listening to external sources of information, again, whether that is mainstream, whether that is spiritual, or anything in between, we're giving that source the power to define our reality. It's telling us what is real. Otherwise, we wouldn't be listening to it. But what happens is we give up our creative powers if we spend too much time taking in outside stuff. So that's why we want to be super careful and question everything. We don't want to take anything at face value these days, because what we are putting our attention to, and Yaila said this so beautifully, whatever we are putting our attention on is what we are creating as our future. Because our brain is just like a computer. It takes it in and it files it away. So when we're taking in a lot of that outside information, we're taking a lot of that to heart that we might not realize we are, more than we might realize. So as the Pleiadians like to say, whatever your chosen sources of information, and they know we're not going to walk away from outside information, we're not going to put our phones down, but whatever source of information you're listening to is creating your future. So make sure it's the future that you actually want, instead of what the dying 3D world is trying to sell you as your future, because the old is going to get really squeaky as it goes. So we want to be very kind of paying attention to where we're putting our focus. It has more of an impact than we might realize. Now, in these energies, they're going to be a little kind of funky to go through. We may feel a little disoriented in these energies. We may feel a little like we're lost in the weeds. We don't know which direction to go. A little out of time, even like the world around you isn't quite real. These are all kind of what these energies feel like. So all of these sensations and feelings, very normal in these energies. So the best way to move forward in these crazy energies is to navigate with your heart, with your intuition, listening to your body. As we always say, your body will never lie to you, because we have to be really careful in navigating based on what we see around us. That's just the old, which is crumbling. So we don't want to base our future on what is leaving. And the only way to navigate those energies is to do it from within, from the heart, from the intuition. So that is how we're going to steer ourselves through the coming months as these energies get a little more and more interesting. So that is what the P's wanted to share with you in the April energy report. Ladies, anything else popping out at you?
Peyton, when you were describing the energies are getting a little squeaky, I just kept hearing like a door, like, and so now whenever someone's acting up, I'm just going to have that in my head now. So thank you for that little entertainment that I can add to my day.
Yep, lots of squeaky noise. And, it's very distracting. And that's what those old things are trying to do. They're trying to distract us back to the way we used to be. But that version of us is gone. We're not that person anymore. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. So watch out for the squeaks, y'all.
Watching out for those squeaks, and in the piece we're talking about, time being different, or the world seeming so different. And it does seem so different. I've been experiencing that, where it doesn't seem like the same world. Time, what is time? Like I can't even keep track of time, or the day, or it's really shifted.
Yeah, time feels like it's speeding up, and it's just going to feel faster and faster because we're moving out of linear time, which is kind of what our whole reality has been based on. And so that changes the game a little. We're not used to that. So, yep, navigating with
Yeah.
our heart is the only way, following that intuition.
Yep.
So, yeah, interesting times that we are in, my friends.
Well, and we've known it for so long. Well, at least the three of us have known that these days were coming and we're in it. And it is exciting. It is very exciting. Sometimes a little uncomfortable, but if you choose to just go with the flow, it's like going with the flow, even though we're motivated to move forward, move forward without the fight. Like if something's not working out quite right, you just keep doing it to make it right. You just know, nope, just go with the flow. Go with the flow, but keep moving forward. That's the sweet spot for this energy, at least in April, you know.
Well, and then learning where to say no as well. Like, go with the flow, but learn where you need to say no. Oh,
Flow with boundaries.
for sure.
No boundaries. No one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into the April Energy Report. We'll be back in a month to tell you what's going to happen in May. As always, we are so grateful for your likes, your follows, your shares, and your comments. And all of our information will be down at the end of this, at the bottom of the screen. So make sure you connect with all three of us. And we will see you next time. Bye, y'all.